welcome back to my little suburban edible garden, and we're going to do a few jobs today, just random jobs around the place, and we're still preparing for spring in a way. So up this alleyway I've got a bit of mulching to do, so that's the first job on the list. So I threw around some sugarcane mulch, it's organic sugarcane mulch, and covered some spots that were very desperately needing to be covered. I had some bare soil, which is a no-no in my garden, and so I got some bare soil covered. We had some areas in the alleyway that had tomatoes in, and I also needed to clear away the Choko vine there, so we took that down, or when I say we, I took that down, and this little area here I cleared up. I removed the weeds and the what was left of the tomatoes, and this little area didn't quite get done when we did the makeover in the alleyway. This one section I moved the pavers across and finished that mulching off there, which is a job done, like completed. It's nice to close those loops and complete the job, so that's all nice and neat up. I will probably add a little bit to that before I plant into it, but it's ready for my planting. And seeing I have so many seedlings coming on that need to go in the ground very, very soon, I've got to get these spaces ready. I also invested in a aerator for the compost bins. I've got those black plastic compost bins that don't, they're a little bit tricky to get moving and to get them nice and hot. And I did find after I stirred it a little bit with one of these that it increased the heat in the compost bin. So I put this together as another job for today, and I timed that also. And that is another job out of the way. Now bed number 2 has had green manure. I have been growing radishes on there, and then I let the chickens in to demolish the radishes. I'm cutting them off at the roots, not worrying too much where it's getting cut off. I've moved the lines of the irrigation aside, and I'm going to add to this bed and get it ready today. So we have got in this bag closed loop compost, which is food scraps in a big kitchen that has been put through a closed loop compost machine. It's an electric machine that basically cooks and dries the food. So it's not quite composted, but it is food for the soil. So I'm putting this in. Now this is very rich. You don't want this anywhere near your seedlings. I am using it incredibly liberally. It's not really meant to be used like that, but because I knew that I was building up the height of the soil in here and adding soil to it, that was going to be on a lower area, a lower level, and I was going to water everything in well, I've just gone with it and to see what happens. And I can tell you, because we're a little bit further along now as I'm doing this voiceover, I can tell you that it worked fine. So I took the dried banana leaves off that banana up there, and I started to throw them down there as well. Any little bit of dried debris I threw on top. It's all food for the soil. And then I put some cardboard that was lying around waiting to be used as a barrier, because this bed does get some weeds in it. I've used the cardboard as a barrier, but I'm pulling the stickers off and the sticky tape off. It's easier to do once it's wet, so you'll see me pulling it off quite easily while it's wet. I've added wood ash to this, and I've added some soil and topped the bed right up. And there's a couple more amendments that I'll add to this, but can you see when you're looking at this, the little visitor is camouflaged? There he is. So there's only a little bit of room left. I've brought this level right up The bed isn't level actually, so it's a bit of a pain, but I've filled it right up, and I'm going to top it with mulch. Before I do it, I'll add a couple of little special ingredients. This is my very cool, I call it my snake hose, because it seriously looks like a snake when you're turning the hose on. Now that noise you hear is my pump. So we have a pump on the water tank that's right beside this bed. Now it's important to note with every single layer that I put down, I watered it in well to make sure that bed was damp all the way through. Like a compost heap, I wanted it to be active and nothing to be dry underneath, and not knowing how much rain we were going to get, I wanted to make sure that was well and truly watered in. And it also gives the chance for the compost and the ash to filter through the soil and, you know, move through the garden bed. I'm really fascinated by this hose. You watch it retract, it just definitely looks like a snake to me. A kind of snake that I'm happy to have in the garden. But anyhow, moving on to the amendments. I'm trying 2 new amendments. These are from the Visallis. This is a rock mineral amendment, and I also have the feed for the garden that is quite funky. It's called Superfood, and it's saltfly larvae carcasses. And believe it or not, I put this and some azomite on my wire bed. I was having trouble with something in the soil and my broad beans reacting, and I put those 3 amendments on and they really bounced back. In fact, they're really huge now, the broad beans, they're really big. So I mixed these 2 together, and I didn't use all of this. You don't need a lot of this, and I have put it all over my gardens, and I'm trying to be diligent with any new spaces that I create to put it in that. So as with all the other layers, I sprinkled it on. I can't remember if I put the sugarcane mulch down first, but all of it was all watered in again. And we had a finished bed ready for planting, which will be the next power hour. So that's bed number 2 over here, finished. And that can sit there nice and moist until I'm ready to plant into that. And I can just dream about what I'm going to put in there. I'm undecided as yet. We've got all these little seedlings coming along. We've got the summer veggies that need to find homes, like, you know, all the squashes and cucumber and lots of tomatoes. I'm going to grow lots of different beautiful variety tomatoes this year, and I'm going to try them in all different situations because I just want to cram as many in as I can. So there's lots of possibilities for a fresh bed, but it's covered, it's nurtured, it's fed. I just put it to sleep for a bit. Well, it's not asleep, it's very awake, but it's done. That was a long time to get that done, but I just did it in stages when I could over the time, but tried to make sure it was either covered or being dealt with at any one stage. It wasn't sitting idle with exposed soil. Well, if you enjoyed that, please be sure to like, subscribe and share. And in your comments, let me know what you're doing in your garden or on your homestead. Are you in the kitchen preserving? Are you cooking up a treat? Or are you tending to your flowers or plants, or just having a rest? I'd love to hear. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.